In this video, I'm going to talk all about an array, or building arrays and manipulating an array in Swift. So let's just start by creating an array of animals. We can do this just like we did in Python, where we say cat, bat, cow. So this is just an array like we did before. We're defining it as an array with three things in it: a cat, a bat, and a cow. But watch what happens if I put, let's just say, the number 5 in this array. Swift does not like that. It's a heterogeneous collection, meaning we have a collection of items that are not the same. So we have strings here, and then we have an integer there. So unless we define an array specifically to contain multiple types of variables, we need to stay consistent. So I need to make sure that when I create an array that if I start with strings, everything inside of that needs to be a string. Now if I want to create an empty array, so let's say I'm going to create an array of numbers, but it's going to be empty for now. I'll add things to it. I need to be specific, and I need to say this is going to be an array of integers, or this might be an array of strings or an array of doubles. But you need to be specific and define what kind of values, what type of values will be put into this array eventually. So let's put some things in this array. I'm going to use a for loop. So I'm going to say for I and from 5 to 15. And what I'm going to do is append I. Oops. I'm going to add I to the array. Now, since I started at 5 and went to 15, what should happen is the numbers from 5 through 15 should be added to the array one at a time. So if I print it inside, not the best way to do this, but it'll give us an idea what this is going to look like. If I print it inside, you'll see that we're adding one number at a time. So let's run this. So you can see, adding one number at a time. First it added 5, the next time through 5, and then 6, then it added the 7, the 8, the 9, and so on. So just taking those items one at a time. Okay, I don't want to print that every time, but I just wanted to show you. So that's appending. We've done appending in Python as well. Nothing different there. I'm going to add an animal into my animal array. So in my animal array, I want to insert a dog into the array, and I want it to be at index number 1. So thinking about arrays, this is index 0, index 1, index 2. So think about what this array will look like once I have inserted dog at index 1. I actually want you to think about it. So let's print the animal array. See if that matched what you were thinking. So once that goes away, so now there's cat, dog is index 1, and bat and cow just got moved over. Okay, let's see. So we can insert at a certain place. We can also remove things. So in my num array, I want to remove whatever is at index 2. Okay, and once we remove whatever is at index 2, think about what that might be. Let's print it, see if you're correct. Remove the 7 because the 7 was at index 2. Index 0, index 1, the 7 was at index 2, so it just took it out of there completely. Okay, we can look for an index value, so I can say if let, and I'm saying if let index value because just in case what I'm looking for doesn't exist, then I want to put an if statement saying just in case what I'm about to do doesn't work, we've got an if statement there so things won't break. So I'm going to create this new variable called index value. And I want the index value to be in my num array. I want it to be the first index of of, let's say, the number 14. So if we go find the number 14, what is its index? And I want to remove that from the list. So it's saying go find 14 in the list, get its index number, then remove that index number from the list. So now if we print this list, we should have a list that has, or an array, we should have an array that no longer has the number 7 and no longer has the number 14. And that way I don't have to know where 14 is. This program will find it for me and then take it out. So if we print the num array, this is without 7 and without 14. Okay, one last thing I'm going to show you is how to iterate through an array. So we're going to say for num in num array. So I'm saying go into this num array, which is 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 15. I'm going to assign each number one at a time. So the first time through, num is the value 5. The second time through, num becomes the value 6. The third time through, num takes on the value of 8, and so on. Num takes on each value one at a time in this array. Okay, so if I print num, what should happen is it will print each number one at a time that's inside of the array at that moment. So let's run that and see. So there was my array, 5, 6, 8, 9. So it printed one at a time. Num was 5 and it printed it. Then 6, then 8, then 9, then 10. Great way to go inside of an array and look at each item one by one. Okay, that's a good review. This is similar to Python with a couple of different things for Swift.